Now, these days, there's no such thing really as there is the nuclear family. In fact, many couples choose to co-parent or, of course, share custody of their children. But with this Christmas coming, how can you keep things civil? Well, our lawyer, Ayesha Nayyar, is here with her all-important guide. Lovely to see you, Ayesha.
Thank you.
You cover so many different topics, and this is one that could lead to so many arguments. So it's really important, isn't it, to try and not have those arguments, particularly for the kids. So where do you stand as a parent legally if you're co-parenting when it comes to things like holidays at Christmas?
OK, so if you have parental responsibility for your child or children, then you have a right, both parents have a right to spend that time with them. But more importantly, your child has a right to spend that time with either of their parents. Both of you have an equal right to spend that time with your child. Presuming you've not already got a court order in place. If you haven't, you've both got an equal right. Your child has got an equal right. The reality is you are going to have to come to an agreement with your ex about who is going to have the children over Christmas. Now, in an ideal situation, you should have had these conversations back in August or in September, not when you, or even when you've split, not when you've got 3 weeks left to Christmas. You are going to have to put your child's best interests at heart, both of you, and then come to some agreeable solution that's workable for all of you over Christmas. Try and do it face to face. If you can't, if relationships have broken down, then you might want to write a letter or text message, but have your child's best interests at heart and try and come up with a solution that's going to make it magical for your child.
It's interesting you say about the equal right of the child to be with both, but obviously you can't be in this, all be in a different place at the same time. So what are your kind of options, would you say, for how to do Christmas?
Well, you're looking for a workable solution. Now, your first option is that you split Christmas Day. So your child might spend half of Christmas Day with mum, all the way up to, say, having had Christmas dinner, and then goes off to dad for the rest of the day, and dad does everything else for the rest of the day with the children. That is a workable solution, but it has to work for you. So you need to live close by. Your children have got to be of a certain age that it's not going to tire them out. What you might find with that is Christmas is rushed and nobody wants to clock watch, do they, on Christmas Day, that, oh, it's getting to 2 o'clock, the children are going off. So if that works for you, and it can work if children are older, share Christmas Day between you. Another option is have 2 Christmases. So children aren't fixated on Christmas Day being the 25th of December. They just want Christmas. So one person has Christmas on Christmas Day and the other parent, the parent that doesn't get them on Christmas Day, has an alternative Christmas Day. That could be the 17th, the 18th, the 23rd, the 27th of December, any other day. There's no child that's going to say no to 2 lots of Christmas presents, 2 lots of Christmas dinners and 2 lots of fun at Christmas. So that's a very real and workable option, having an alternative Christmas Day if you're not getting the children on Christmas itself. Your third option is to alternate Christmas, which I know a lot of families do. So one year it's with mum and one year it's with dad. So coming to that agreement, you know this year you're not getting the kids, but you will get them next year. But even if you've got the third option, the alternate Christmas, you can still, remember, have your own Christmas Day, a separate day. It's a festive period. Don't just fix yourself on the 25th of December.
It's interesting because this also works for grandparents as well, doesn't it? Trying to decide which set of grandparents you see at Christmas. I suppose you could try and do it together.
You could do it together, and that, again, is a workable solution for some families, OK?
Yeah.
So me and you, Steph, we could probably quite happily sit round the table and have Christmas dinner together. But if you've got your mum over there giving me daggers and my dad giving your mum daggers and you get... you've got to think, is it really practical? And if you're going to have a big cloud hanging over you while you're carving into the turkey, it's a bad idea. And think about your children. No child wants to have that going on Christmas Day. So if in theory it's a good idea, in practice, is it? Just ask yourself that question.
What can you do, though, if you just can't come to an agreement?
OK, if you can't come to an agreement, then you've got options. So your first option is, look, it's never a good idea to take these options, but if it's a last resort, it's a last resort. So your first option is you try mediation. You can go along to a mediator. Some mediators will actually do this for free, so look for one in your local area. Most of them, though, do charge. And we go to mediation and we come to some kind of an agreement via the mediator of what we do over Christmas. Remember, a mediator's decision isn't binding, or you might just say, well, I don't want to mediate, and then you've not gone down the mediation route. Your next option is you knock on the door of the court. Now, this should be a last option. Judges don't like it. If you can't agree over Christmas, you're two adults, you've had a child, it's Christmas Day, come on for Christmas, sort it out. But if you really can't, you can issue what's called a child arrangements order, where a court will decide what contact the absent parent has with the child, including Christmas Day. But remember, it's last resort. Your child is likely to get, find out about it, and is that what you really want for your child, to know that mum and dad are arguing over where we are going to spend Christmas? And the reality is, one of the three options I suggested, so alternate Christmas, 2 Christmases, or split Christmas Day, that's what a judge or court is going to decide anyway. So you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache, time, expense, money and worry if you do that. And the reality is, you're not going to get before a court in 3 weeks. It's not an emergency at the moment.
Have you got any kind of words of wisdom for the parent who's not having the child at Christmas?
It's going to be a difficult day and you've got to be prepared for that. But fix yourself on having your own alternate Christmas if you can. And then think about the day. There'll be other people in the same position, whether that's friends of yours or people. There's lots of support and help groups out there. Try and keep yourself busy over Christmas. So in your support bubble, if there are other single parents, see if you can have Christmas together. And then if you can't, think about ways to keep yourself busy. So could you go along to your local homeless charity and help out Christmas Day there? Could you cook meals and distribute them for those families who aren't lucky enough to have a Christmas? Try not to just sit there and wallow in the fact that you've not got your children. Try and have had your Christmas Day early, so you've taken the edge of it, and then keep yourself busy. But try also not to be fixated on what your children are doing with their other parent on Christmas Day. You've already given them a great Christmas Day and you're going to have some time to yourself.
Yeah, and I guess the key is just trying to keep the kids out of it so you don't spoil it for them.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is hear that, I can't spend Christmas with you because Daddy says I can't. Think about little Tommy listening to that as an 8-year-old. Put your child's best interest at heart. Always put on a united front for your children, because Christmas is a magical time and neither parent wants to take that magic away. So all of these discussions, try and have away from the ears of your children.
Yeah, lovely as ever, Ayesha. Great
Thank
to hear your words of wisdom. Put your hands together for Ayesha.